Welcome to Trading Lounge in the US tech stocks, and we're looking at the S&P 500 here, and it appears now, because of the move down, we'll have to call wave 1 in up here. So I'm going to bring across the NASDAQ on the daily chart here. I don't know why it's blue. It's something to do with some bug in their new upgrade or something with Pro real time. But in a nutshell, we've got wave 1 here, and look for an ABC for wave 2 here. Some markets, as mentioned yesterday, have taken the top out over here, and some haven't. Some have got up here, but we're treating them all as wave 1 except for Tesla. And so wave 1 and ABC for 2, and then pushing up for 3. So with that in mind, this would be, I need to give this a little bit, there's impulsive here, so this will be some sort of corrective move here, and then something like this and this. So that's what I'm sort of thinking. And we can push up from that point. So this leg should be something to do with this leg in terms of equality. Unfortunately, I thought we would have pushed a little bit higher, but that's not the case. So there we go. That's what we're looking at. So really nothing to do this session. Or perhaps even not even. We'll see what this. I mean, the thing here is that even let's just say that I got this right here. So I'd still wait for 5 waves to the upside, and then an ABC pattern here before going long, basically in these spaces in 50-60%. So I need that impulse wave there. I need that box ticked. Okay, so that's what we're really looking for. So with that in mind, this is Apple. So if the NASDAQ and the S&P need to go an A and a B and a C here, then all the other markets need to do the same as well in their own way. They'll all be slightly different. Some have been coming down, like Microsoft and Google have been coming down, for a couple of sessions now. So they'll all be a little bit different. This is Apple. It's also been coming off the high here for a while, so we'll need to call that wave 1 in. And this is a bit of a googly gawk sort of situation here. I'm not quite sure the best count for this market, but it does appear that there's only 3 waves up there. So I'll look at this as an ABC for the A wave, a B wave, and then an ABC back here again as well. So probably a WXY really, but I'll just see how it plays out. And this, there's a different way to count this too. I could go, I could look at this as the A wave here and the B wave here, for example, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that sort of thing as well. There's a few different ways to view this. We just go to 100 ticks in here and just bring in a bit more data and take a closer look at this. So I'm thinking in some way or another we've got some sort of impulse wave here. So I'm thinking something like this. So obviously that won't be a C wave if that's going to be the case, but otherwise it could be down for what? It could be in blue wave A over here, down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just see how high it goes here. So, but we're not there yet with it. The long trade, of course, is above this high here. That would be the long trade at that point. So I know we had a long trade in here, we got stopped out, but we did have a nice ABC and we were above the level and everything was, so to me, even though we had a loss on it, I did all the right things at the right time. So I don't feel like I did it. I don't feel stupid or anything like that, even though I am. So anyway, that's Apple. And I've got this other alternative count here, but that's just an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's no biggie. We just have to wait. We just need to wait. So there's nothing to be sort of done with any of these. But the main takeaway today is that we're looking now at wave 1 top being in place, because not all markets have moved down a long way, but some of them have enough to call the rest of them in. So some can have deep corrections and some can have shallow corrections. So I could make a mistake in this one really, where it could just go straight up from here, but it's not going to go, as I mentioned here, ages ago, it's not going to go, we could see it strong here, then getting weaker and then getting weaker still. So we're just waiting for the rebalance, and hopefully this is the rebalance that we're talking about here. And then we can move with it, but it's where it is at the moment. But main takeaway is with all markets today, we've got this wave 1 top in, and there's nothing really to do at this point in all of this. And, you know, I've got this also as an A and a B and a C wave here, which would be a W. Oh no, I could probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but you know it's a bit messy as well. So there's different ways of viewing it, but we do have this impulse wave here. So I'm thinking that we could, you know, still get a B wave in here a little bit more, and then the C wave, trying to cover that gap up here, I guess, and then coming down. And then somewhere down here, and then making a move up at that point. So it'd be something like that. But we need that impulse wave over here, and then we need the ABC. So we've got a fair bit to wait over here. You know, if we can identify this as being corrective, this move here coming down, we can identify it being corrective, and we get an impulse wave here, well then that's enough for a trade setup at that point. That's basically buying the dip, as the young bloods say. So Nvidia is one that's pulled back down quite deeply here. So we can look at this one quite comfortably as wave 1 here, and then an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I could probably do this a little bit different too, but I'll just see how it plays out in all of this. It might be that we end up getting some bigger picture here and then this here. Do you know what I mean? I'm not quite sure, but this is basically what we're looking at. We're looking at a little bit more of a corrective pattern in here, a bump and a drop, and then we're looking for that impulse wave, you know, and this is where we can move in over here, but we have to wait for that. And just have this image here of this needing a bump and a drop here. So apologies for not updating that. And the same with Facebook. Facebook's one that's taken out the top here. So technically, you know, we could put this top in here from wave 4 to wave 5 in a lot of these, but we have to remember that a lot of the markets that have moved up haven't made new highs. So that's why we have to look at it as wave 1. And then the other thing too is that even though this is like coming down quite strongly here, that's very typical of a wave 2, isn't it? You know, like they come down fast, you know, and this is what this is doing. So this here, whichever way you count this, is it's just looking for a bump and then a drop. That's kind of that's what we're looking for. It does, you can get a reasonably nice 5 waves out of this down here. I did update this one, so did take a look at this. So yeah, so there's probably different ways of viewing it, but we can look at this as 5 waves for 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we do have 5 waves down here. So we should get a correction. In fact, it could take us back up here as well. You know, it's 50, 60% up here. But that's where the supply starts back in here. So yeah, it'll be some sort of thing here, and then this here. This is actually the 61.8%, very close to that 300 there. So that's what we'll be looking at that point. Maybe we could get a trade down here depending on how this develops, I guess. But in a nutshell, nothing really much to do. Now this one here, I've got to drag this into the rest of the crowd by looking at this as wave 1 and 2. But it does mean that I've got to kind of get this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here somewhere as the 3rd wave, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th in here, squash it in here. Otherwise it's 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 5. So, which we were looking at, and on the 1000 here, I've got that pattern here as well, which is also doable as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's at the 38.2%. But it's probably not the case, even though it looks like that's the better count. It may not be the case. So we'll, but just taking that on board and acknowledging that wave 4, which I have done here, and looking at it as an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it needs to finish, whoops a daisy, it needs to finish here somewhere. But otherwise we'll need to look at all of this as the A wave, like Nvidia, like Meta Platforms, and then a B wave over here, and then a C wave down here for wave 2. So we're just nothing really to do here actually. I mean, it would have been nice to be short, but yeah, safer to trade with the trend, so that's what we're doing at this stage. Well, that's the 38.2%. We don't need that there, but I know where that is. So that's that. And then we come over to Google, and I think I missed Google yesterday, didn't I? I'm sorry about that. So here I could look at this as an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and put wave 2 here in the 50, 60%. But the problem with that is that it's on an intraday basis, it's going to move with the other markets, isn't it? So there might be another little move down here as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. I'm not quite sure about that, but we should be looking at some sort of ABC and then something like this here and then up. But you know, it does look like you could work it from that point. I could probably get 5 waves out of this too, with 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I could probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could go that way with it as well. But either way, I know on an intraday basis we've got to go with that. So I've got to move that really, and the bias is here for this. So that's what we'll do. We'll play that out. I'm just going to delete these here. So we'll just really watch and see. I'll just have a look on the 100 from 1000. Yeah, so let's see what I've done. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a third. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could go 1, 2. Yeah, still a bit. Maybe I need to have another look in here. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really. It matters, of course, about counting it, but at the same time, we can see that, you know, from other markets that it appears to be, you know, we're going to need to be doing something like this. So that's what we have to go with. You know, we have to go with the consensus more than the individual wave count to a point within reason. You know, but it does make a nice sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know. So I'll just copy that there and put this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what we're looking at there, I guess. That needs to go there, I think, with 1, 2. That can go there, or maybe, yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's about it really, I think. But we still just need to wait. Microsoft as well, so same thing, we're looking for a bump and then a drop. So we have to call that top in. So we had to force this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the 100 ticks in here. Okay, I remember this yesterday. We were here somewhere, and it just didn't look like it was finished to the downside. So the thing here is, do we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here as an ABC for the A wave and ABC for the B wave, some sort of thing in here anyway, and then this, you know. I mean, it fits. It's not too bad. That's kind of sharp, and this is longer than that one, so that's okay. And wave forward nearly touches on that. It gives us that extension in wave 5 here. I mean, I could look at it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, it's not good that way either. I think that's probably the best way to count it. Okay, so I will leave that at that, and then we've got Tesla here. So with Tesla here, yesterday we noted that there was 5 waves down here, so we were looking for some type of A, B, C pattern in here and then down. So it's the same thing happening around town, so to speak, you know. So that's what we're looking for. So yeah, not a lot to do in here. This is, you know, this little move here took a good few sessions. This will take maybe a session or two, maybe even, I don't know, and then this here. So we could be up for, it might be Friday before we're heading higher. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that's the pattern. That's where we are. So I'll leave it at that. Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.